and good afternoon, Freddy Bunch. I am a werewolf. Sure. It took me 5 minutes to do this makeup, okay? And honestly, I don't hate it. I didn't really think the rest of this out, okay? I just knew, I was like, ooh, werewolf. I have enough brown beauty products to make that happen, so where's my fur? Do with this what you will, okay? This is my werewolf mullet, we'll call it. And I've got this fur on my face, and it's not the full moon, so I'm not like full wolf, you know, but we out here, we're doing it. I'm like the female Fenrir Greyback, whatever that would be called. Fenrir Greyback. And if you don't understand that reference, you are too young to be watching this video. So to continue on with our scary sweets, I thought it would be fun to do some cake pops. Well, they're not cake pops, some Rice Krispie Puffs. So I have a box of crispy rice treats here, and we're going to decorate them to look like monsters. So these are going to be monster candy pops, which is exciting. I haven't really thought about what kind of monsters I'm going to do yet, and how detailed I really want to get with these, because these are going to be like super simple, super easy, super quick to make, so that you can take them to a party, good for adults, children, whomever. I would advise you put a little bit more thought into your costume than this. And I'm so scared Jake's gonna come home and see me like this and be like, what are you doing? But anyways, 5-minute costume, 15-minute snack time. Let's do this. I have unwrapped our crispy treats here, and I have a knife that I'm going to cut them in half. So like, now me as an adult, I would enjoy this whole thing, but the whole point is to take these to a party. And there's 8 of these in a box, and I'm not actually taking these to a party, these are just for me and Jake to have, but for demonstration purposes only. So this, we're going to, I'm going to cut them in half to make them kind of smaller, more little like bite-size monster treats, especially for, you know, if you're taking them to a party. You can absolutely leave them big if you want and do bigger versions, but I am all about the most bang for your buck. So if I can stretch out a box of 8 and make 16 little Rice Krispie treat snacks, like I said, leave them whole. You can put them in half. If you want to get like super cute and creative with them, you can put them on little like cake pop sticks, and that'll help you dip. But I am only going to do, I think, faces. So I'm just going to dip just like one side of it, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what looks the best here. I got this big old block of almond bark from Aldi, same place I got my Rice Krispie treats. So in total, I think I'm invested maybe $5 into this, because I'm going to be using food coloring that I already have on hand, and I also have edible markers on hand, and I have like melting baking chocolate chips and stuff if I need them for decoration. And then yeah, so like I'm not really super monetarily invested into this. So this is like easy, cheap, fun for all ages, and like creative. People will think that you put like a lot of time and effort into this, and like in actuality you're like, yeah, it took me a while. I'm super creative like that, and it really only took you like 10 minutes to get this all put together. Now you can use like candy melts. If that's what you want to do, you can find colored candy melts. If you don't want to like color your chocolate yourself, you can get colored candy melts, or you could get like the dipping chocolate that you use to like dip strawberries and stuff in, or like fondue chocolate if that's what you want. But yeah, so I'm using almond bark. Almond bark is so good, so versatile, love it. It doesn't taste like almonds, and I find it's not like as sweet as like a white chocolate or like a vanilla candy melting chocolate. So that's a plus because these Rice Krispie treats are already sweet with the marshmallow and everything in it. So I don't think we're going to need very much almond bark since we don't have very many of these. So I'm going to start with, I think I'm just gonna melt one row. So just melt these 3 here. So I'm leaving them in whole cubes, and I'm gonna put these in the microwave on full power for 1.5 minutes, stir it, and then if it needs to melt further, we're gonna take it about 15 seconds at a time until it's completely melted. I have the melted almond bark. I'm going to put just a little bit, oh gosh, that bowl is hot. Hot. A little bit on a plate, and I'm gonna go in with moss green. I can get that to moss green first, because I think I want to make either like a Frankenstein or like a zombie or like a swamp creature. I don't know, some sort of green. So I'm using a toothpick, taking out some green, and we're just gonna swirl this together. Ta-da! See, it's kind of like dull and like lifeless looking, which is good. So I'm going to take this, and again, you can put it on like a cake pop stick if you want, but I'm just gonna dip it right in, swirl it around. Ta-da! I might smooth out the top. I think I'm gonna do 3 green ones. I have an offset spatula that I'm going to use to kind of like smooth this out before the chocolate sets, and just use the side or the top to kind of clean it up a little bit. Just make it, even though these are monsters, we want them to look nice. I think while I still have some that is white, I'm going to do just like 2 and dip them into the white chocolate, the almond bark, just directly. So maybe we can have a couple ghosts or some mummies. This almond bark hardens fairly quickly, so you're wanting to work quickly. Next, pour a little bit. And let's do some brown. Make some werewolves. This is the brown that I'm using, just regular brown. I like the Wilton gel food colorings. You can use like a liquid gel as opposed to like the like canisters of gel, because they have like little droppable gel ones. Or you can use liquid, but if you use like liquid like food coloring, just know that it will alter the texture and like consistency of what you're using it in. So there's always that to think about. Now for our werewolves or our mud monsters, whatever, I have chocolate chips that I'm going to melt to give them texture and like depth of color. So that'll be fun and exciting. Next, I think I'm going to do purple, violet purple. And my thinking behind this was that, you know, like, this is gonna sound silly. It's like the Count from Sesame Street. He's a vampire and he has purple skin. So my thinking was like, oh hey, I could do a couple vampires that look like the Count and they'll have purple skin. So whether that makes sense to anybody else besides me, the world may never know. There's our purple color. It kind of looks like a purpley gray, but I have black out because I was wanting to actually do like a gray. Last one. Because I thought, you know, if I do a zombie, their skin's kind of like gray, right? Or maybe I could do like, I don't know, a witch maybe, a witch's hat, something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Okay, so these are still kind of setting up. It doesn't take too long for the almond bark to sort of harden. I went ahead and did a double dip on the white ones because it was just really thin. So these are still kind of in the process of setting up, but I've decided to make these mummies. So I'm just going to use some of the remaining white almond bark and just sort of go back and forth like a mummy pattern. Okay, so for these green ones, I think I'm gonna make these into little Frankensteins. So I have chocolate chips that I'm going to push into the side here, getting them kind of even to look like his little electrical things. See, ta-da, how cute is that? And I'm going to use my little marker, my edible marker here, to draw on him. So I'm going to kind of give him some hair, and we're going to draw a line. This is not drawing very well. Draw a line across his forehead, because you know that's where his head was cut open. It's not the best, but we'll work on it. I have chocolate in a bag for our werewolf, so I'm just gonna kind of pipe it, make it look like fur. Doesn't have to be pretty. See, it's kind of textured, looks a little bit like fur. So for our purple ones, I'm going to use a toothpick to give them teeth to make it look like a vampire. Going to use some leftover chocolate, give him eyes. We'll do and an angry eyebrow. And I figured out for our gray ones, we're gonna make them into tombstones. So I colored more frosting here, or more whatever this is, whatever it is, almond bark. And I'm putting it into like a little baggie. And R. I. P. Oh. I think I'm also going to use this to give our werewolf some more fur texture. Here they are. They don't look bad. They don't look bad. Really, honestly, the mummy, I think it's my favorite. I think it's super cute. You can see, hopefully, you can see like the texture of like the mummy wrappings, and I used chocolate to make like eyes and a mouth. And then here's our little like angry vampire, super cute. Here's our little Frankenstein. I used leftover gray and leftover chocolate to make his eyes and his mouth and his little stitched forehead. And here's our little like crazy looking werewolf. I used some of the leftover almond bark to make teeth. And then here is our little tombstone. I have an R, an I, and a P. And I really honestly am pleasantly surprised with how they turned out. Did not take long at all. If you have a plan going into it, it'll be super easy to get these made up, looking good, feeling good, and for sure tasting good. Speaking of tasting good, we gotta give it a little taste test. I think I'm gonna eat a mummy. Oh, perfect. Honestly, I'm so glad I made them smaller because they're very sweet. They're so good though. Like the almond bark is definitely not as sweet as say like a solid like white chocolate or whatever, or like a candy melt base, but it's still just like enough sweetness on top of the already sweet Rice Krispie treat to make it just like the perfect ending to a beautiful Halloween smorgasbord. 10 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you had as good of a time with this as I did. Everybody, I hope you make these because they were super easy, super fun to make, low cost, low investment, but high key delicious. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Stay safe. Take care of yourselves. And until next time.